Sunday afternoon in Briarwood. The Jack Curran Gymnasium is the place to be, and we've got a good one as the Bishop Loughlin Lions take on the Archbishop Molloy Stanners. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm John Perez. It's been one of the more competitive leagues in the tri-state area. In fact, 7 teams in News 12 Varsity's tri-state poll come out of the Catholic League. And for Bishop Loughlin and Molloy, this is the second time this season that these two have met. Bishop Loughlin cruising past Molloy on January 10th. And for Loughlin, one of the big stories was point guard Marquise Noel. The junior was on another level, just distributing the ball. He was throwing lobs from half court, took shots pretty much from the other side of Brooklyn. He's got his team ready to go, and the chemistry cannot be higher for Bishop Loughlin. For Molloy, Moses Brown had a double-double, but boy, it wasn't easy. The Loughlin front line did a good job frustrating them, and for Molloy to have success this afternoon, they're going to need Moses to be going from the start. It's Molloy and Bishop Loughlin, Sunday afternoon in Queens. Where else are you going to be? Right here on News 12 Varsity's Game Time. After officially a 28-minute delay, we're going to start this one with only 2 officials. Roberto Diaz and Andrew Ardini were the 2 staffers that were here on time, but we're all set to go. And there is Ed Gonzalez, his team tied with Molloy for the top spot in the Brooklyn Queens AA division. And let's take a look at his starting lineup, the backcourt of Marquise Noel and Keith Williams, and up top, Jordan Thomas, Tyrese Gaffney, and the center, Adrian Nunez. For Molloy, their starting lineups, Vertucci and Anthony in the backcourt. Up top is Herring and Moore. Moses Brown is the center, and Molloy wins the opening tip. The Stanners 11-5 overall, 6-2 in the Brooklyn Queens AA division. Winners in 3 of their last 4 games. Are coming off a 74-59 win as Thomas grabs the board. Jordan Thomas, the senior, averaging 8 rebounds a game. Operating far side, Nunez. 3 ball is good. Adrian Nunez only shooting 24% from distance. The senior had 5 points and 6 boards against Holy Cross Friday afternoon. And a 3-0 Loughlin lead. Up top is Herring, the southpaw going to the offhand in the corner. More 3, that's off the back iron. Offensive board. Brown, he goes up. His shot gets blocked by Nunez, but he's able to clean it up. Moses Brown, the 7'1 junior, averaging 20.7 points a game. That's 6th in the CHSAA, and it'll stay with Loughlin. Loughlin 12-3 overall. Winners in 7 of their last 8 games. They cruised by Holy Cross, 85-68 Friday night. The only 3 losses are to St. Ray's twice and Cardinal Hayes. Thomas underneath. Gaffney, he'll tee this one up. That clanks off the back iron. Williams with the long rebound. Williams a spin to the hoop, short. Anthony with the rebound. So Molloy team that likes to run at times. Vertucci. In and out. Herring with the offensive board, gets blocked, but then sinks it anyway. And he'll have a chance to get 3 the hard way. He got whacked by Thomas. That'll be Thomas's first and the team's first of the afternoon. Herring, a 6-foot senior, 47% free throw shooter. And he clanks that one. Herring coming off a 17-point performance to St. Francis Friday night. So Herring giveth and Herring taketh away. Drawing the foul and then giving one. And it'll be Loughlin basketball. Noel, the junior. The step back. Herring with the board. More far side, penetrating inside. The step back, Cash. Khalid Moore missed 4 of 5 from the floor the other evening as Gaffney is able to get the bucket. Moore with his team up 6-5 at the 6-minute mark. Anthony, he'll jack up a 3, book it. Cole Anthony is so deadly from downtown, shooting 42% from distance. Had 21 points against Loughlin the first time that they played, and now it's a turnover. Moore with the emphatic slam. And Ed Gonzalez is going to call a timeout. 5 straight points for the Stanners. And not exactly what Bishop Loughlin wanted as they call a timeout. Well, Loughlin and Molloy, both with 6-2 records in the AA division. Brooklyn Queens, Christ the King in 3rd place, 5-4. Holy Cross in 4th with a 3-5 record. And then you see the disparity. St. Francis Prep 1-8 and Zavarian winless in 9 contests, 4-12 overall. Loughlin ranked number 7 in News 12 Varsity's Tri-State poll. Molloy ranked 9th. 7 teams from the CHSAA are ranked in News 12 Varsity's Tri-State poll. As Noel will yo-yo into the front court. Gaffney is trapped, has to go to the corner. Williams, no good. And that'll stay with Loughlin. Noel, the trigger man. The no look, Nunez, catch and shoot, book it. Adrian Nunez averaging 4 points a game, and he gives Loughlin the bucket after the timeout. Anthony, guarded by Noel. Now Herring straight away. Jackson from the wing, penetrating inside, and he's going to get called for steps. First turnover for Molloy. They're a team that turns the ball over 16 times a contest. And now Nunez. Thomas, the touch pass. Williams. Williams working past Brown. Yes, and the foul. Keith Williams. So 1 shot upcoming for Williams. Williams, a 71% free throw shooter, tied with Elijah Buchanan of Mount St. Michael for the top spot and the leading scorer in the CHSAA. Had 15 points and 6 rebounds against Holy Cross Friday night, and he clanks the board. (11-9) Molloy lead, 4:45 to go, and it's Vertucci. Anthony scanning the defense as he's got William on him. Anthony and Williams. And that one's taken away. Noel with the intercept. Now the step back from the elbow. Cash. Marquise Noel averaging 25.6 points a game in the month of January, and he ties the game at 11. Moore working on Williams and Thomas. Tries to slip it underneath to Brown. And it was last touched by Loughlin. It'll be Molloy basketball, 22 to shoot. Anthony, the 6'2 sophomore, floats it into Moore. Moore carving the defense, floater, in and out. Nunez controls. Thomas able to handle it, and Gaffney to the rim. Tyrese Gaffney with the spinner. The senior had 4 points against Holy Cross Friday night, and he gives Loughlin a 13-11 lead. Anthony and Noel. Now Herring. Thought about it, he's going to get called for steps. I spoke to John Herring a couple of weeks ago after the Holy Cross game, and he joked that there wasn't a shot that he didn't like, and he's a guy that has a scorer's mentality and will go to the rack, and that's something that Bishop Loughlin is wary of, and they know that when he has the ball more times than not, he's going to look to attack instead of facilitate. Noel gets a screen from Thomas. Nunez, the pull-up, 3-ball corner pocket. Adrian Nunez, his second triple, and Loughlin balloons the lead to 5. Brown in the post, the kick out, Vertucci, yes. Jackson Vertucci, the 6-foot senior, had 3 points against Loughlin. He already has that here, and he cuts the lead to 16-14, 5 minutes gone by in the opening period. Thomas towards Gaffney, he's gonna tee this one up. That one clanks off the back iron, long rebound goes to Thomas. Noel, deep 3, and he can't stick it. Anthony the other way, tries to feed it towards Herring. He turns it over. Here's Noel ahead of the pack. The scoop underneath Williams. Misses the dunk, Gaffney, and he gets it to go. Well, it wasn't pretty, but it worked for Bishop Loughlin. Tyrese Gaffney with the cleanup. Moore getting a screen from Brown. Looking towards Brown, then floats it up. Long board, and it leads to another run out. Williams to the cup. Keith Williams had 28 points against Molloy, and he's off to a hot start. Loughlin up by 6. 2 minutes to go in this opening frame. Anthony up top. Noel, tenacious defense, and Anthony's gonna get called for steps. As he looks over at Andrew Ardini and says, well, what did I do? Thomas, blocked by Brown. Now Noel, deep three. Long rebound out to the right. Williams, he'll tee this one up. That one's long. As Williams took a spill into the Molloy bench. And Herring, second straight travel for the Stanners. As we'll get our first substitution of the afternoon, Jade C. to check in for Jackson Bertucci. C, the sixth man for this Molloy bunch. Started his high school career at Holy Cross and then played for Ron Niclario at Cardoza. Gaffney, this is a three, and that one's off. Bishop Loughlin shooting 37% from distance, but it doesn't matter when Moses Brown, the tallest player on the court, slams it. Molloy takes notice. Noel working on Brown, and he's going to get called for steps. So we've seen 3 traveling violations by both of these teams over the last 4 sequences combined. As Chad Venning will check in for the Lions, Jordan Thomas to take a breather. John Herring with 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. A 20-16 lead for Loughlin. Moore gets some separation, tries to drive inside, and we'll get a whistle. That'll be the first foul on Williams. And the Lions' second. Fresh 35 for Molloy. Moore loses it, dribbles it off his foot. Now Noel to the cup, blocked by Moore. Khalid Moore skying to the summit and swatting away Noel. Underneath, Brown. Brown working hard, blocked by Venning. And that's a matchup that worked well for Bishop Loughlin the first time out on January 10th. Chad Venning did not make it easy for Moses Brown. And even though Brown has 2 inches on Venning, Venning didn't even jump to swat that ball away. So the shot clock turned off, 22.5 to go. And a 4-point lead for the Lions. Here's Anthony, he's got separation. He'll jack up this 3, can't connect. Justin Campani checks in as well for the Lions. 4 seconds to go. Noel's got to go. 1 second underneath, Venning at the horn. And he can't connect. And we've played one full. Well, it's been a fun opening frame. It was worth the wait, and at the end of one, it's a 20-16 lead for Bishop Loughlin on News 12 Varsity's Game Time. So we're ready to start the second quarter, and the third official has arrived, so the referee's at even strength as Gaffney gets trapped, and he'll slip it over to Noel. Noel thought about it, underneath Williams. Over John Herring, and the foul. So Williams to shoot 1. That'll be the second foul on Herring. Well, Williams scored his 1,000th point on December 6th at St. Francis Prep. He was honored before a home game against Cardinal Hayes 3 nights later, and Kadeen Carrington, the current Seton Hall guard and former Lion, was in the house. Williams said that he's still close with Carrington, and Carrington told him, "You only get one senior year. Enjoy it and go out and destroy the league." Pirates beating St. John's earlier today. Moses Brown the other way. Second dunk for Brown. He puts Molloy within 4, 22-18. 7.5 to go in the second quarter. Noel and C. Noel to the cup over Brown. High off the tin, no. Campani underneath. Brown with the block and then a foul, as Moses Brown was just standing straight up. And it'll be the first on Brown, the fourth for the Stanners. Campani 7 for 10 from the charity stripe and make it 8 for 11. He's a sophomore. One of 2 Campanis on this Loughlin team, Julian being the other. And the twin in the game misses the second. Jordan with the step in. Here's Jordan Thomas. High off the glass, Williams tries to dunk it, but didn't want to touch it over the cylinder. It'd be a violation. That leads to a Bertucci 3. No good. Brown underneath. It's too easy for Moses Brown. When teams don't box out Moses Brown, that's what happens. Noel turns it over. C to Bertucci. It's a 3-on-1 underneath. Moore gets the roll as Jordan Thomas is shaken up at the other end, holding his right knee. So Thomas being tended to. Thomas, of course, one of the anchors to this Loughlin team. Noel and Gaffney will walk off Thomas. So he might have to sit for a while. This is the second forward that has had a knee problem. Richard Springs, who's not in the game, and inactive for today, is a sophomore, a sprained meniscus. And Springs is going to be a big part to this Lions team in the future. He already has interest from Stony Brook, St. Bonaventure, and St. Louis. Noel on C. Noel likes to play to the crowd. I'm surprised he didn't shoot on that one. Williams over Moore, yes. Keith Williams is feeling it. Now Moore, 2-on-2 crime. He'll try to answer back, yes. Both teams exchanging buckets. It leads to a run out. Gaffney, that shot got blocked by Moore. Williams picks up the loose change. Now Gaffney over Brown. Book it. Tyrese Gaffney had a season-high 28 points against Molloy on January 10th. They go to Brown in the post, working on Nunez, and a whistle. That'll be the first foul on Nunez. His first and the team's third. Moses Brown getting some serious offers. Kansas, St. John's, Maryland, Seton Hall. The St. John's coaching staff pretty much camping out in Briarwood, and you know, why shouldn't they? They're only about a 10-minute drive. Matt Abdelmassi was here for the Holy Cross game. Nunez will tee one up, no good. Bertucci with the board. Anthony looking ahead, over to Moore. He thought about it, he's gonna get called for steps. Well, Moore thought about a 3, saw Brown down low, shuffled his feet, and it'll be Loughlin basketball up 27-26, 5:23 to go in the second quarter. Here's Noel behind his back. The kick out, Nunez, he already has a 3. Clanks it off the front iron. Gaffney, offensive board, goes up with it. Can't get it to go. Here's C, the former Cardozo judge. Goes up, and a whistle. And I believe they're going to call it goaltending, possibly. You had the one official, Roberto Diaz. So the basket is good. So they're going to give 2 to C. Ed Gonzalez not too happy to say the least. And the foul will go to Gaffney, one upcoming for C. C knocks down the free throw. Here's Williams. That pull-up, it was a 2. His foot was on the line, but he ties the game at 29. Now Moore. Seeing Gaffney. Underneath, Herring. Herring scoops it up, gets blocked by Williams. Nice block out of Williams. Behind the back is Gaffney and a whistle. And that'll be the first foul for C in the team's 5th. So Campani, Gaffney, Noel, Williams, and Nunez. And another whistle. And Gaffney with the off-ball foul, his 2nd in the team's 5th. So Gaffney with 2 fouls for the Lions. John Herring with a pair for the Stanners. Game even at 29. 4:23 to go. Here's Anthony, and he threw the off elbow. That's going to be an offensive foul. Noel took a shot from Anthony. And Anthony will pick up his 1st. Antoine Hurton will make his 1st appearance of the afternoon for the Lions. As Noel yo-yos into the front court. Gets a screen from Campani, the step back, off to the right, rebound Herring. C, a triple, short, Moore. Nice block by Noel. As Moore was going up with it, Noel had a hand in. And it'll be Stanner basketball, 26 to shoot. Anthony will float it up to C. C and Noel with the reach in.
Fouls on number 1 of the Lions, Marquise Noel, his 1st, team 6.
His 1st, both teams with 6 fouls in this opening half. C scoops it up. Herring working over Campani, the southpaw. John Herring matched a season-high 17 points against the Lions on January 10th. He's actually a 2-sport athlete. Baseball is other sport. He plays left field for the Molloy baseball team and has some interest from Northwestern. Molloy up 2, 3:30 to go in the 2nd quarter. C working on Hurton to the cup, no, but a foul. And that'll be the 2nd on Nunez. C averaging 5 points a game, swirls out the first free throw as Moses Brown will check back in for Molloy. And the other Campani, Julian, the sophomore, will check in as well. C goes 0 for 2. And the officials will talk it over. It'll be Loughlin basketball. Well, Molloy, a team that shoots 63% from the charity stripe. And Jade C doing a good job on the press of Marquise Noel. He's been blanketing him the whole game. Hurton loses it. This will lead to Herring. Herring ahead of the pack and the one-handed jam. John Herring puts his team up 4. And now it's Noel. That's one thing that C worked on, was facing up the ball handlers. 3 in the corner from Justin Campaney is no good. And another foul, and that's probably going to be on Hurton. And there's the confirmation, so the first on Hurton. And that'll be the team's 8th, a 1-and-1 situation the rest of the way for the Stanners. Cole Anthony, an 83% free throw shooter, 4th in the CHSAA and scoring at 21.2 points a game. Cole Anthony in the offseason put up a lot of shots, worked very closely with Joe Toussaint of Cardinal Hayes. Cardinal Hayes losing to Christ the King on Friday evening. At one point was #1 in New York City's Tri-State poll by our very own Elio Velez, who is live cast in the game. A 35-29 lead for Molloy at home. Noel over Brown. Herring had a tip. Williams all over Moses Brown. And a technical. And that's going to go on Williams. And he might have had some words after the jam. Well, that dunk got the Loughlin contingent on their feet. And off comes the jacket of Ed Gonzalez as Anthony sinks the first one. You can't tell me this is just another game. And 2 for 2 goes Anthony. It'll be Molloy basketball. Here's Anthony, and then a foul on Noel. Well, News 12 Varsity hasn't been too kind to Moses Brown. You look at the plays of the week a couple of weeks ago. Coffee Cockburn of Christ the King with a big dunk on Brown. You'd have to imagine that that Williams dunk might also be one of the top plays of the weekend as well. But I'm sure Brown, at the end of the day, will take the 2-0 record on News 12 Varsity. Anthony, 3 of his last 3 at the charity stripe. He's been Mr. Reliable at the free throw line. And the lead is 8 for Molloy, 2:27 to go in the opening half. Williams, the Campaney brothers. Wahad Johnson checks in. And Johnson will tee up a 3. That's no good. Ball tipped around. C tries to save it. He does, but he throws it towards Johnson. A turnover for Molloy. Antoine Hurton, the other Lion, on the floor as well. Williams underneath. Campaney, Julian. His first bucket in the last 4 games. Hurton with the steal, flips it up. Yes, and the foul. Here comes Loughlin. That foul will go on C, his 2nd and the team's 7th. Hurton looking for 3 the hard way. And that one bangs off the back iron. So Loughlin within 4, 39-35. Anthony working on Hurton. They slip it underneath. More to Anthony. Anthony working on campaign. He slips. Hurton had a hand on it, and then Brown with the answer. So that fouled to Julian Campaigny. Brown said last season to a couple of media outlets that he would be the player that he wants to be in the middle of his junior season. And when I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, he said that he's exceeded those expectations. And the coaching staff agrees. Johnson from the corner, no good. And that'll stay with Loughlin, 34 to shoot. Antoine Hurton will check in for Justin Campaigny. Loughlin operating without its point guard, Williams. And he front rims that one. Herring with the hop step. The southpaw, John Herring, his second bucket. He averages 10.5 points a game, and he puts Molloy up 43-35, last minute to go in the second quarter. The turnaround pull-up from the elbow from Julian Campaigny's no good, and here's Herring. Moore to the cup, bust inside, and a foul. Idrissa Bivens checks in, only the 7th game for Bivens this season, and he picks up his first. Khalid Moore, a 61% free throw shooter, broke his nose in the second game of the season, came back against Iona Prep in late December, but if you want to talk metaphorically and figuratively, Khalid Moore came back against Christ the King on January 6th. 21 points in that performance. And after the game, Mike McCleary, with a smile on his face, looked at Moore in the locker room and said, "Hey, Khalid, welcome back." He nails the second. A 44-35 lead for Molloy at home. Williams gets trapped. Bertucci in there. Hurton now. 10-second differential between the game and shot clock as that ball was tipped. 21 to shoot, 32.2 left in the second quarter. And Hurton to toss it in. He'll float it up to Williams. Snatch it with the left hand. Joe Hotch checks in. He's got the assignment on Williams, not an easy one. Williams underneath, Hurton, blocked by Brown. Loughlin wanted the call. As Moses Brown was able to pin it to the grass, Anthony! And one! And that'll be the second foul on Bivens. We've seen 2 Cole Anthonys this year, both positive, but Anthony's a player that will take what's given to him. And at times, we'll see where he'll be very passive and try and get his teammates involved, and other times where he's assertive. And he's certainly been assertive in this first half. 10 seconds to go in the opening half, almost a backcourt violation. Hurton's got to jack that one up. He gets blocked by Anthony. And that'll stay with the Lions. 5.4 seconds to go. Hurton will lob it up towards Williams. He gets trapped. Tries to dribble between 2 defenders. An offensive foul. Nice job by Khalid Moore to draw the charge. And that's going to be Williams' 3rd foul. Not what Loughlin wants. Throw it into Anthony. Lob it up. Hotch at the horn. Is short. But Molloy, with a strong second quarter, will head to the locker room with a 12-point lead. You're watching News 12 Varsity's Game Time. There is the horn for the second half as we get set to go. A 47-35 lead for Molloy. And we'll give you the foul situation and the leading scorers. For the trailers, the Lions, Keith Williams is the leader with 10 points, but he did pick up 3 fouls, his third coming with just 2 seconds to go in the second quarter. For Molloy, Cole Anthony has 12 points, John Herring with 8, and Moses Brown with 11. John Herring with 2 fouls for the Stanners, that's the most. So it'll be Anthony, Moore, Brown, Herring, and Vertucci on the floor to start this final half. Noel, Gaffney, Venning, Adrian Nunez, and Keith Williams with those 3 fouls on the floor as well. And with Loughlin down 12, they can't afford to have Keith Williams pick up any more fouls, but they also need his offense in the game. Molloy ball to start this second half. Vertucci. Ball comes loose, Williams picks it up. He'll dish it over to Gaffney, working on Moore. To the inside in the cup, and a whistle. And a pretty late whistle at that. And that's going to be the third on Herring. And this will send Gaffney to the line. Gaffney, a 49% free throw shooter. His father, Eric Gaffney, was his biggest basketball influence. Eric played his high school ball at August Martin in Queens, but is a middle school teacher at PS 21 in Bed-Stuyvesant. And Eric actually has a key to the gym, and you can find the two of them working out, and in the summertime, the two get up and have 6 a.m. workouts for multiple hours at a time, and Gaffney said that his dad always preached, the early bird gets the worm. In the corner, Vertucci, 3 ball on the way, no, but he'll go to the line to shoot the 3. And that's going to go on Noel. His third personal. Well, as head coach Mike McCleary calls Vertucci the most selfless player that he's ever coached, and he's a player that dives for all the 50-50 balls. He makes all the right plays and is very efficient on the floor. And Vertucci said that playing that way is the only way that he's going to find the floor when you have potent scorers like Moore, Anthony, and Brown. A 15-point lead for Molloy. And a whistle down low. And Vertucci picks up his second. Well, and speaking to Elio Velez during the intermission, he said that, and we both agreed on this, there have been more fouls since the third official arrived. In the corner is Nunez over Herring, cash. Third triple for Nunez. Loughlin needed that one. They're within 12. Now it's Herring. Looking to break the press, throws it up, and that's his first miss of the afternoon, and Moore fights off Brown. And friendly fire hurting Molloy. Williams driving baseline over Brown, and he gets it to go. Well, he had an emphatic dunk that turned into a technical over Brown. This time he scores over Brown using the window. And it's a 10-point lead for the Stanners. Herring from the wing, driving inside, a whistle. That'll be the third personal on Nunez. So Nunez with 3 fouls. Keith Williams with 3 fouls. Marquise Noel with 3 fouls. They always say that bad things come in threes. Well, 3 starters for Loughlin with 3 fouls apiece. And that one falls. 52-40 lead for Molloy. Minute and a half gone by. Williams, they turn around from the free throw line, clanks off the front rim. Brown with the board. Anthony thought about it. Now he'll jack one up. Yes. Anthony with 15. That's the lead for the Stanners, 2 minutes gone by. Gaffney, he'll tee this one up. The line drive shot hits off the rope on top of the basket. And it'll be Molloy basketball. Well, in the past, Gaffney was criticized for being too passive. This year, he's been more aggressive. And you see it on that last shot. More to the cup, no. Brown, no as well. It'll stay with the Stanners. Bertucci, catch and shoot. Way short. Brown. And Brown able to stuff it in. Brown has 13, and Bishop Loughlin will call a timeout. Molloy ascending to start this second half. They lead 57-40 with 5:34 to go in this third quarter. As you look at the New York City boys basketball poll, Bishop Loughlin ranked third, Molloy ranked fourth. And Molloy, if you are a Stanner fan and can't get down to the games, News 12 Varsity will have coverage Wednesday evening against St. Raymond. Isaiah Washington and crew come to Queens. And then February 10th at Christ the King in Middle Village. So if you want to catch Molloy, that's when you can catch them. If you want to catch Loughlin, Loughlin will play Christ the King at home on February 5th. They also play this weekend at Adelphi in the Empire Invitational that was snowed out earlier against Long Island Lutheran. Gaffney with the teardrop. Pressed by Bishop Loughlin. Anthony to the cup over Venning. And Venning will pick up the penalty. Anthony making 6 straight free throws. There was that one stretch after the Williams technical where he sank 2 and then was fouled on the next end. Sank those as well. He goes 2 of 2 here. The lead 59-42. Noel throws one up and picks up the foul. And that one will go on more. This game getting called a lot tighter since the start of the second quarter. Underneath Williams. More into the front court, working on Gaffney. He goes right into Venning. That leads to a run out. Noel. When you look at workouts across the CHSAA, Noel might be one of the hardest workers in the Catholic League. He said he works out 3 hours a day and puts up 1,000 shots per workout. As 2 shots come for Moses Brown. 4th foul on Nunez. McCleary pleading with Andrew Ardini. Brown catches the first one. The Campani clan check in. Justin and Julian. So the Campani brothers, Noel, Gaffney, and Williams on the floor. Williams That one clanks off the back iron from distance. Ball still loose. Going to the ground was Julian Campani. Now Moore and Noel. Gaffney comes up with it to the cup and a whistle and count the basket. Bishop Loughlin very scrappy and getting rewarded for their persistence. McCleary saying that it was on the floor. Roberto Diaz is the one that said that the basket counted. At the end of the day, it'll be the second team foul for Anthony. And the team's fourth of the half. Brown, and he gets whacked. That one will go to Julian Campani, his second. Brown hits the first one. So Brown will go 1 for 2. Moore tries to save it, but steps on the end line. Williams a little too lackadaisical. Moore noticed it. As Loughlin will roll it in. Noel, 3-ball, short. The lead up ahead, Moore to the cup. And he banks that one off the back iron. Here comes Loughlin, Noel the other way. Too easy for Marquise Noel. 62-50 lead for Molloy. Bertucci puts it on the deck, the handoff. Brown, he gets blocked by Justin Campani. The lob towards Williams, and Williams has to save it. And then Justin Campani gets bumped. That'll be the third personal on Bertucci. Williams over Moore. Molloy has not made it easy on Keith Williams. It still doesn't matter. Herring, yes, and the foul. The foul will go to Justin Campani. Herring was a perfect 4 of 4 from the floor for 8 points in the first half. He now has 10, looking for 11. And he gets it. So 3 Molloy starters in double figures. Noel into the front court. The dump off underneath Gaffney with a little kiss off the glass. That ball taken over. Justin Campani bumps into Noel. Noel driving baseline to the basket, short. And it'll be Molloy basketball. Anthony having trouble trying to create separation. They throw it towards C, and he toes the sideline. The bounce off. Herring, blocked by Campani. Second chance, no. And we'll get another whistle. Here's Noel. Noel, the teardrop. And he'll go to the line. It'll be the third foul on C. And Noel to shoot the free throw. Noel only 2 points in the first half. And he misses the front end of the 1-and-1. 5 points for Noel so far, as we're coming up on the 2-minute mark, 2:15 to be exact in this third quarter. Anthony, the dish out. More three. Can't stick it. Long rebound, Anthony. His pull-up from the elbow. In and out. Rebound, Justin Campani. Noel looking ahead. The step back from the free throw line. Offensive foul. They're going to say that Noel tried to create separation with his offhand, but that's Noel's fourth. And Loughlin with too many self-inflicted wounds in a game that has been called very closely. Antoine Hurton will check in, and Noel will probably have to sit for a good portion of the fourth quarter as well as the remainder of the third. Brown underneath, and he scores over Campani. Here's Williams. He gets blocked by Brown. This leads to a run out. More! This time it works. He was rejected by the rim the last time he tried to stuff it home. That time he wasn't, and it's a 71-54 lead for Molloy. And another foul on C. And that's his fourth. So C with 4, Noel with 4. And Jackson Vertucci will check in. 1-and-1 upcoming for Gaffney. And he swirls in the first one. It should be noted that Jordan Thomas appeared to have hurt his knee in the first half and in the first quarter. So Loughlin, without Thomas because of an injury, you'd assume. We don't have the exact diagnosis, but then you've got Noel with 4, Keith Williams with 3, and Anthony picks up 1. And that'll be the second foul on Hurton. Anthony knocks down a pair. The lead balloons to 73-56 with a minute to go. Gaffney with the spin on Herring to the basket. Off the window. And the foul. And they're going to call that foul on Brown. And that'll be Brown's second. And Gaffney with the misfire. Molloy and Hurton. 45 seconds to go. Underneath Vertucci, and he's going to get called for steps. Gonzalez tried to shuffle Williams and Wahad Johnson to the scorer's table to get them back in. Was late on it. And now the subs will come. So Wahad Johnson and Keith Williams to check in. Antoine Hurton and Julian Campani to the bench. Gaffney over Vertucci, going to the cup, gets altered by Brown. And Molloy has a case because it looked as if Gaffney, from the naked eye, lost it on his own. They float it back in, and we'll get a whistle. And that'll go on Gaffney. So not only will it be Molloy basketball, but Cole Anthony to shoot. Somewhere Rasheed Wallace is saying the ball don't lie. Anthony sinks the first one. So Anthony, Mr. Reliable at the charity stripe, puts his team up 75-58. The shot clock is turned off. 20 seconds to go in this third quarter. It's been all Molloy. Gaffney, straight away, over Brown, no. Venning tries to clean it up. Williams, and he'll earn a trip to the line. 2.4 seconds to go in this third quarter. That'll be the fourth foul on Herring. Williams will sink the first one. Well, Williams will be a Cincinnati Bearcat next season, and he said he fell in love with Mick Cronin's coaching staff, but it was assistant coach Darren Savino that sold him on going to Cincinnati. Savino, of course, known to recruit in the Northeast, and he played at St. Anthony in Jersey City. He was a part of the 1989 team that won the USA Today National Championship. That Friar team had 3 first-round picks: Roderick Rones, Terry DeHare, and the coach's son, of course, Bobby Hurley, who had an All-American career at Duke. Anthony at the horn, good if it goes, it doesn't sink, and that will do it. At the end of 3, Molloy piecing together 2 strong quarters, the second and the third, and after 3, they lead 75-60 on News 12 Varsity's Game Time. As we begin the fourth quarter, Molloy owns a 75-60 lead over Bishop Loughlin. Marquise Noel, Adrian Nunez, Keith Williams, Chad Venning, and Tyrese Gaffney on the floor for the Lions as they look to dig themselves out of it. In the corner is Nunez. He'll jack this one up, and it falls. Third triple for Adrian Nunez. And he puts his team within 12. Treston Livingston checks in for Molloy. Anthony underneath Brown, over Nunez, a whistle, as Nunez was claiming that he was straight up. And that foul will go to Venning. That'll be his second, and a little bit of a sigh of relief for Nunez, who has 4 fouls. And Brown clanks that one off the front rim. One more shot upcoming. Brown sinks the second. Noel, the pass underneath Williams and the turnaround. Anthony, the other way, trying to go over Venning. Anthony wanted a call. Gaffney ahead of steam, throws it off his knee. And that foul's gonna go on Livingston. So the sophomore picks up his first. And the free throw contest continues. Both teams already committing 10 fouls in the second half. Clanks the first one. Into the front court, it's Moore. In the corner, Vertucci, he'll line this one up and dial it in. And a big high five towards the bench. Molloy up 79-64. Williams, the answer back, no sir. Vertucci, the no look. Livingston, he's a shooter. Not sure if he had that shot altered by Nunez, but he hits the side of the backboard. Noel holds on to it. Williams slips, and a whistle. And that'll be on Moore. Third personal on Moore. Two upcoming for Williams. Williams will drop them both. The lead 13 for Molloy. Moore backing down Gaffney. Anthony. The third pump, but it's not a charm. Nunez, he's already got 4 threes, can't make it 5. Brown crashing the board. Brown, first in the Catholic League with 14 boards a game. Moore, his shot is short, and Venning commits the foul. Well, that's his role, Chad Venning. His head coach, Ed Gonzalez, wants him to be aggressive and grab rebounds. And Venning said that Gonzalez wants his presence to be known on the floor. Second free throw upcoming for Brown. And he drops in a pair. Lead 81-66. Noel underneath to Venning, loses it. Williams. His dunk attempt was short. The slip, Moore in the corner. Vertucci a 3. Adrian Nunez running into Jade C. And Jade C is fouled out. John Herring to check back in for Molloy. Well, Jade C, a tough day at the office. A lot of times in the wrong place at the wrong time. First free throw hits off the front rim. Nunez was one of the more reliable Lions free throw shooters, 14 of 15 from the charity stripe coming in today. He goes 1 of 2 at the line. 14-point lead for Molloy, 81-67. Anthony, the dish, Herring, finger roll, yes, and the foul. That'll be the 4th on Venning. That one hits off the back iron. Venning scooping it up. He'll throw it up. Venning crashes the board. Nunez, he's feeling it from downtown. Short. Venning is still able to clean it up. Chad Venning taking over in Jordan Thomas's absence. But overall on the team, Bishop Loughlin losing Jeremy Betchel from last year's team. And Venning not making it easy with Anthony going to the line. And that'll be the 5th on Venning. So each team with one of their players right off the bench fouling out. Justin Champagny will check back in for the Lions.
2 shots for Cole Anthony.
Seems as if Cole Anthony hasn't missed a free throw this evening. We'll get the official stats after the game, but he's been perfect in the second half. The spin, the hoist, and the fire. And Anthony, once again, 2 of 2 from the free throw line to give Molloy an 85-69 lead. Noel underneath Gaffney. Tyrese Gaffney averaging 13.5 points a game, but Molloy still with a 14-point advantage. Anthony sprinting to the cup, and a foul again. And that one will go to Williams, his 4th. And Anthony just continuing to make Loughlin pay. Noel and Anthony. The step back is short. Williams will get it, and he can't clean it up either. Well, one thing that we saw in this contest when Marquise Noel was on the floor, Cole Anthony was guarding him. That's something that we didn't see in the first matchup in Fort Greene. Anthony, Moore in the corner. He'll hoist a 3. Can't connect. Champagny comes down with it. Gaffney off the window, gets blocked by Brown. 4 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. It's been all Molloy, 87-71. Molloy will slow it down, and for the Stanners, Wednesday you can check them out on News 12 Varsity as they welcome St. Raymond. Friday they head to Holy Cross, and then the rest of the schedule gets a little bit easier for the Stanners. Scanlon, not an easy game, but at least that's at home. St. Francis on February 3rd. Home Stepinac on the 7th. At Christ the King, that game will be on News 12 Varsity on the 10th. And they finish out the regular season February 12th against the Patrick School at Roselle Catholic. The 3 won't fall. Herring can't clean it up. Here comes Williams, off to Noel. Behind his back, he'll float it up. That one will swirl out. Vertucci with the board. Herring underneath. Brown with an easy dunk. Hurton loses the handle. And Cole Anthony with the exclamation point. Loughlin calls a timeout. The largest lead for Molloy. They lead by 20 with 2:50 to go. A 91-71 lead for the Stanners. We'll step aside. You're watching News 12 Varsity's Game Time. Loughlin will roll it in down 20. And under 3 minutes to go. Noel underneath Campaney. And Justin Campaney gets it to go. But Molloy can pretty much go into prevent offense and just milk the clock 35 seconds at a time. Anthony almost throws it away. Herring with the save. This time he'll float it up. It'll get called for steps. He took one too many. Williams working on Moore. The future Bearcat doesn't get the roll, but he'll head to the line. Keith Williams, 71% free throw shooter, as he cans the first one. For Bishop Loughlin, they'll head to Brooklyn to take on Zavarian Friday night, and then Sunday on News 12 Varsity against Lehigh in the Empire Invitational. Doesn't get easy for Loughlin. February 5th against Christ the King. You can check that out on News 12 Varsity. They see Iona Prep before closing it out at home against Zavarian and then on the road at Holy Cross. 2 minutes to go. Cole Anthony to the cup and through traffic gets the bucket. 93-75 lead for the Stanners. Gaffney, the step back, foot on the line, no good. Campaney cleans up the mess. The floater from Hurton gets blocked. Brown running the floor. Brown looking to go coast to coast, the finger roll, offensive foul. Nice job by Adrian Nunez, who already has 4 fouls to draw the charge. Well, Moses Brown, who tries to treat himself like a hybrid new age center that can run the floor. And with his team up 18, if there's any time for him to do it, it's now. Anthony and Noel gets a screen from Herring. Herring throws it up, no good. Herring with the cleanup. That didn't hit the shot clock, so only 15 seconds on the shot clock. McCleary thought there should have been a reset. 8 seconds. Vertucci to the tin, yes. Jackson Vertucci. Under a minute to go. Noel in the corner. Nunez, he'll jack up a 3. Can't dial it in. And here comes Herring. Off to Moore. Bang! When Molloy is playing above the rim, they're so dangerous. In what has probably been their most complete effort of the season against a top 10 team in News 12 Varsity's poll. A statement win for the Stanners after having a rough night in Fort Greene 12 days ago. Antoine Hurton and Julian Campaney will check in for the Lions as the fans start to file out. That ball tipped around, shot clock turned off, and it'll be Molloy basketball. Joe Hotch will check in for Moses Brown, who had a nice day at the office. And Cole Anthony will walk it in. So Molloy will improve to 12-5, and they'll be in sole possession of first place in the Brooklyn Queens AA division. Loughlin falling to 12-4, 6-3 with 7 seconds to go in this opening period. Well, Bishop Loughlin averages 80 points a contest. They don't get it to this one, but 80 wouldn't have been enough anyway. And Molloy takes this one easily, putting together strong second, third, and fourth quarters to down Loughlin at 97-76. Keep it tuned. We'll speak to our player of the game coming up next on News 12 Varsity's Game Time. An emphatic win for Molloy here Sunday afternoon. The man standing to my left, the player of the game, Cole Anthony, the sophomore. Perfect 17 of 17 from the free throw line. Were you keeping track at all?
I wasn't. I knew I was making them, and that's all I was really trying to do.
In Fort Greene, they, as in Bishop Loughlin, made themselves known early from the get-go. You guys had to dig yourselves out of a hole. Today, kind of a reversal. What do you feel changed in your mind between the first matchup and then this afternoon?
It was all mental. I mean, everyone just came into the game locked in, and we just really wanted this game. I felt we wanted the game more than that.
This is a big stretch for you guys. You got Loughlin today, St. Raymond's on Wednesday. A big win like this against Loughlin, what does it say for this team that by many is being favored to win this Catholic League?
It just sets the tone to how good we can be as a team. And, I mean, if we come out playing like that every single game, no one can stop us.
A tone-setting win for Molloy at home Sunday afternoon. They've got a big stretch upcoming. Well, for our producer Tom Schnars and the live caster Elio Velez, this is John Perez signing off on News 12 Varsity's Game Time.